In the heart of Europe, a silent crisis is unfolding, not on the battlefield, but in classrooms, airports, and train stations. Ukraine's youth, its brightest minds, its builders of tomorrow, are leaving. A generation between 18 and 22, once the hope of post war recovery, are now seen packing their bags for Germany, Poland, and beyond. As bombs fall and blackouts spread, a new war begins, a war of migration. This is the story of a nation losing its future, one student at a time. Since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, millions of Ukrainians have fled their homes. But what was once a temporary refugee has become a permanent relocation. By mid-2025, nearly 7 million Ukrainians live abroad, and a huge portion of them are young people. Many are not refugees in camps but students in universities, chasing degrees and safety far from home. They call it jumping off a shrinking ship. For Ukraine's youth, education abroad is more than ambition. It's an escape. It's a lifeline away from conscription, chaos, and collapsed classrooms. A study by the SAVED Foundation found that 1 in 4 Ukrainian youth now dream of studying abroad. And in the last academic year alone, the number of Ukrainian students overseas jumped by 47%, adding more than 35,000 new students, each one carrying a story and a country's hope that may never return. So where are they going? The top destinations are clear: Poland, Germany, Lithuania, and the Czech Republic. Poland now hosts about 45,000 Ukrainian students, nearly half of all foreign students there. Germany follows closely, where universities have opened special refugee programs. And 78% of young Ukrainians have managed to enroll somewhere in Europe. Across the European Union, over 2 lakh Ukrainian children and youth are in school systems outside their homeland. It's a staggering demographic shift, and one that shows no sign of stopping. This is not just migration, it's a generation on the move. The reasons run deep. War has shattered Ukraine's education system. Classrooms have turned into rubble. Schools operating under air raid sirens and internet disruptions, making online learning impossible. Psychological trauma adds another layer. Many students have seen war up close. Family members drafted, homes destroyed, and futures erased. And then comes the economy. Ukraine's GDP growth crawled at just 1.1% in early 2025. Dragged down by energy shortages, poor harvests, and mined farmland. The agricultural heartland, once Ukraine's pride, now lies barren, short on both seeds and farmers. The military, exhausted after 3 years of conflict, struggle to recruit as young men seek university visas to avoid conscription. To them, Germany means stability, Poland means hope, and Ukraine tragically means uncertainty. What does this mean for Ukraine's future? Critics warn of a collapse, an economy losing its workers, a military losing its soldiers, and now a nation losing its youth. Agriculture, industry, defense, all pillars weakened, and the last pillar, the one that could rebuild, the young generation, is slipping away. The World Bank cautions that the labor shortage from this displacement could delay Ukraine's reconstruction for decades. Sectors like tech and defense innovation are especially vulnerable. Talent is leaving faster than it can be replaced. Inflation stands at 14% and the population continues to shrink. And yet, not everything is lost. Arms manufacturing and reconstruction aid have propped up parts of the economy, but numbers alone can't replace people, and rebuilding requires more than budgets. It requires a belief in a future worth staying for. Meanwhile, the European Union faces its own test. Millions of Ukrainian refugees now live and study across European Union borders, and while they bring skills, they also bring challenges. Poland's economy surprisingly has benefited. Ukrainian workers added 2.7% to GDP in 2024, filling labor gaps and boosting the demand. Employment among Ukrainian refugees rose from 61% to 69%, easing the pressure on local industries. Germany's picture is mixed. Only 43% of Ukrainian refugees there have found jobs, putting stress on the welfare systems. Still, the economists note that European Union is not collapsing. If anything, the influx provides a short-term cushion against Europe's aging population. But the question remains, how long can Europe absorb without breaking, and what happens if Ukraine's best never comes back? The future of Ukraine now hangs on one word: return. Will these students return home after graduation, or will they build lives elsewhere, their talents fueling other nations' progress? Experts call for a strategy of brain circulation, policies to encourage Ukrainians abroad to eventually return with new skills and experience. But that requires peace. It requires safety, reform, and a reason to believe that Ukraine is more than just a battlefield. For now, the European Union has extended temporary protection for Ukrainians until 2025, giving them a legal stay, education access, and work permits. But the longer the war drags on, the more temporary becomes permanent. So here we stand, watching history unfold not in the trenches but in the terminals of Berlin and Warsaw. Ukraine's youth exodus is more than a migration story. It's the heartbeat of a nation growing faint. A country can rebuild its cities, it can rebuild its army, but can it rebuild its future of its youth that no longer believe in home? Only time and peace will tell. Thanks for watching.